What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the Training Stage Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler, and joining me tonight is...
Slowy Joey.
And...
John. And these two are hyenas. But we have a guest with us.
And we have a very, very special guest. We got a...
Hello.
Listener from the very beginning. It's BloodHawk.
Yes.
Yay.
Hey, Piglet. Hello.
Hi, BloodHawk. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Not bad. We just got done laughing because Joey
Ching chang chong.
just had to make fun of something that made me laugh.
He does that.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm just looking back on fonder days.
Of the Tsunami United podcast.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
The best
Like it was
podcast
yesterday.
ever made.
You guys just, hold that thought. I need to go get some burritos with my pals, okay? I hope that's okay with you guys.
You better bring some back for me.
I will.
So, BloodHawk, you've been a listener since the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you enjoy the Trading Stage podcast? What would you give it on iTunes?
I would give it a 1 out of 10.
A 1 out
Yes.
of 10. One
I'm just
Piglet
kidding.
Sanchez
I'm
out
just
of
kidding.
10.
I'd give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I would too.
Okay, 9. Oh, that's good. I enjoy a 9 out of 10.
Doesn't everybody?
1 out of 10 out of 10. Are we not that good?
No, you're not.
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, who am I kidding?
Now, BloodHawk. Is BloodHawk your legal name?
Yes.
I have to ask this. Okay.
It is.
Okay. So it's Blood and then last name Hawk?
Yes.
Okay. Are you like part of an Indian tribe? Is that...
Possibly. Maybe.
Possibly?
Yes.
The F-Zero Indian tribe.
I will say... Probably should have brought this up before, but would you rather call me by my actual name?
We can, if that's cool with you.
Yeah, you can call me Eric.
Eric?
Yeah.
Are you, I can't think of a funny joke to make about your name.
I'm sure you will before the end of the podcast.
Me neither.
Okay, we'll figure something out. Okay.
Oh, hey, Leif Erikson Day. There you go.
Did we just call him Leif Erikson the whole time?
Ring-a-ding-a-durg.
We call Rob Robert Cobb.
Oh, God.
There's your Rob reference for the episode.
I want to look up that video now of Robert Kopp. Oh, shit.
Tyler. Joey.
We're off to a fantastic start.
Yeah, this is a great start to an episode. We got like 2 pieces of news, and then after that, we are just going to talk about games we've been playing. So,
Because we haven't done that in a while.
yeah, we haven't talked about our games in a while. So, let's get into the news, get that over with, and then we will we'll get into the games we've been playing. So, last week we talked about Star Wars Battlefront 2 is going to apparently have a single-player campaign. Well, that's been confirmed. The game also has a release date, November 11th, and it's going to have no season. What's
November
that?
7th, November 17th.
Yes, 17th. The same date Star Wars Battlefront 1 came out.
Yeah. Which I think is kind of a cool little touch.
Yeah, it's neat. And I think the best part about this is apparently it will not have a season pass. No season pass for Battlefront 2.
That's the best news you've told me about this game.
It's pretty interesting
we get it
because
all for free?
apparently so, yeah.
That's fantastic.
Wait, hold on. You said no season pass. You didn't say anything about the DLC.
There might be DLC,
Okay.
but no season pass. So we'll see, what they end up doing with this. But the trailer looked honestly pretty cool. I'm a little bit more intrigued about the game. Apparently, you're going to be playing on the Imperial side of things, and it's going to span 3 generations. You're going to span 3 generations with one, like a new original character. The game is canon in like the Star Wars lore. I think it's really interesting how they're handling the story. I'm looking forward to it, honestly. I want to play the campaign and see what that's all about.
So we can expect Jar Jar.
You know what? I'm hoping
shit.
Jar Jar comes back. Jar Jar is great, and he's the one that made the prequels great.
I hope Jar Jar...
Playable Jar Jar?
That's what I was about to say. I hope he's a playable character in this game.
Oh, if Jar Jar's
Confirmed.
playable, oh my god.
If he's playable, I would just do nothing but get him killed.
My dream has
you-
come true.
Why would you seduce that?
So, who here has played the original Battlefront? I'm curious.
I have.
Like the original Battlefront, or
Like, I mean the 2015 one.
Oh, no, sorry. I haven't played that one.
Okay.
I bought it for some reason.
Yeah, I got it for Christmas the year it came out, and I maybe put 2 hours into it.
I wouldn't mind playing it if somebody played with me, but
It's a beautiful game, but I just I have no interest in playing it. It didn't hook me.
I think it has a lot of gall calling itself Battlefront, to be honest. You know what I mean?
For that way.
I really hope the second one improves on a lot of the criticisms that people had with the 2015 one.
Like, honestly, I wouldn't have any, like, I wouldn't really give two shits about this game if it, like, didn't call itself Battlefront, but since it did, it's just like, I have to have some sort of buff against it, you know? Because, like, I have a lot of fond memories with the original Battlefront, and just for this, like, just this soulless game to come in and just be like, hey guys, we're gonna give you what you had back 10 years ago when the originals came out, and it's just like, no, stop, please, stop, no.
So
This isn't Battlefront. You're a big fat phony.
So are you saying that this Battlefront is more like equivalent of the prequels, in which we're going to get the second prequel of Battlefront 2 that is going to be worse than the first one?
I hope not.
That'd be amazing.
Because that would suck.
That'd be amazing.
I was listening to a podcast recently. I think it was Podcast Beyond, and they were talking about, and I never even really thought of this, like, they're going to have prequel stuff in this Battlefront 2 game, and it's going to look better than the movies. Like,
Damn. Snap.
CGI-wise, it's going to look better. And I was like, wow. They bring up a great point about that, because it probably will.
Well, I mean, to its credit, that was years ago, you know? That was when CGI was just, like, used in every single movie.
Yeah.
And nobody
right.
gave that much of a shit about it.
But
So, I mean, of course it's going to look better now. I mean, it's perfected.
Those movies are top-notch, though. Like, for the time. Like, CGI-wise, those movies were, like, top of the line.
I will say that
production.
Phantom Menace, in particular, is very, like, that movie has aged not very well.
Phantom Menace is very weird because they've mixed both, because Jar Jar Binks was totally CGI, but Yoda wasn't. Yoda was a puppet in that movie. It's like, so it was like this really weird mix of the old Star Wars with the new Star Wars, and it's just, it
not
doesn't
if you,
work.
Not if you have the like
remastered?
the remastered.
Yeah, because they changed it.
That was so bad, man.
Yep.
Oh, God, those remasters are so shit.
Tyler, you know I can only think of what we saw in that one video with the Jar Jar head.
Oh, yeah, at the dinner table.
Jar Jar is the key to all of this.
It's just like, there's like all the regular actors, and then just this dude with a Jar Jar head on him.
I need to get a screenshot of this. Like
That is a fantastic scene.
I have not seen that.
You're missing out, man.
We watched the whole making of, and we saw the actor for Jar Jar, the poor guy, and they attached like a head to him on top of his head. So you have all the regular actors, and then you just see the black guy who played Jar Jar and had to do the voice of Jar Jar with the fake head on top of him. Oops.
That thing is both awful and amazing at the same time.
That's a perfect way to describe it. There you go.
There was just this part in the in that documentary where they were like they were on Skywalker Ranch, and it was like George Lucas in the Jar Jar guy. Oh god!
You see the link?
Oh god!
I'm sorry. That's the first time I've ever seen that. Holy shit.
You need to watch that video with us, Joey. Like, I don't know why you kept skipping on it, but like it's amazing to see how it played out.
You gotta find the clip where he's
God.
sitting at the dinner table, John.
Oh God.
That one's the best.
And like, it was kind of sad for us
I'm in
because
tears right now.
when he initially came up on the set and they showed him first in the video, he's like upbeat and happy. He's just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be in a Star Wars movie. It's gonna be amazing." It's like, oh no.
And by the end of it, yeah, he's just depressed as all hell. The poor guy.
It's like watching somebody's soul shatter in real time.
Oh man. But anyway, so they were on Skywalker Ranch, right? And it was like they have this little pickup truck and George Lucas and the Jar Jar guy. And then there's this one lady like, "Oh God, what is George doing now?" And it just shows the shot with George Lucas and the Jar Jar guy in a truck. It's just so perfect. Like they know George Lucas is completely out of his mind.
It's kind of weird that those Battlefront games were as good as they were. Even during that time.
I absolutely
Yeah.
love the second one.
I do too.
Yeah, the second one's the best for
I
sure.
want to go back and play it so bad.
Same. I still have it actually. I
Only
could probably
on
just play it,
Tuesday.
even though I'd just be against
I
bots.
don't. I was an idiot and I sold all my games to GameStop, those bastards.
And you got what? $2 for everything?
I'm going to give you a penny for this game that just came out last week. I hope that's okay with you.
$6.69.
Yep. How'd you know?
I don't know, wild guess. But anyway, while we're on the Star Wars topic, do you guys want to talk about The Last Jedi trailer?
Is that a new video game?
It's not a new video game, but, we're nerds here. We all like Star Wars. I think so, right? Everyone here likes Star Wars?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you guys think of the new trailer? The new Star Wars movie?
I actually haven't seen it yet.
But it's the internet.
You're not missing anything, BloodHawk.
Here's the bad thing too. I haven't even watched the last two movies yet.
Ooh. That's interesting. See, you're the reason why.
How can you call yourself a nerd?
You're the reason why Star Wars is now flopping to Fast and Furious.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
We just needed that $7 from you, BloodHawk. That was it. That would have done it. And we would have beaten Fast and Furious.
$6 if you go on a Tuesday.
I seriously need to get better about seeing movies, and I do really want to see the new Star Wars movie and the previous two I haven't seen yet. Even though
I saw 6 movies in the past 2 months.
even 7 got spoiled. I got spoiled on 7 by playing
Yeah,
a
is
game
that the
called
one where-
Idol.
I also got spoiled on 7 in the most just completely idiotic place. It was on iFunny, and I just scrolled in the comments, and there it was.
So,
I saw the big spoiler coming a mile away, to be honest.
And it got spoiled for me.
Oh.
Like I mean, I kind of figured somebody was gonna go, but I didn't know who.
Oh, I knew exactly who, and I knew it was gonna happen. Shit, can't we talk about it? I mean, it's been 2 years now. So.
Dies.
Oh shit.
I'm going to say this. I don't know why this happened. I wasn't anywhere that I thought would get me spoiled on the movie. Like I said, I was playing a game called Idarb. I don't know if any of you have played it or heard of it. It's a small little game, kind of like it's like a soccer type game, but you're like shooting the ball and you have all these power ups and stuff you can use in the game and everything. But on the bottom of the screen, they have Twitter just like scrolling by for Idarb. And of course, somebody had to put in. Somebody had to type to him, send them a message on Twitter. Sorry, I'm tired. They had to send a message on Twitter.
We all are.
Saying, "No, they." No, how could they? And I was like, "Are you kidding me right now?" The movie's been out
And
for
everybody
2
freaked
days. I haven't even gotten a chance to see it yet.
That's the internet for you.
Yep. So, any thoughts on the Last Jedi trailer?
Not really.
Not really.
Joey,
You know,
say how you feel.
I don't know. I didn't feel anything, man.
we're just being sinners on this podcast when it comes to this.
I'm sorry.
We got one person who didn't even watch the trailer, hasn't seen the other two movies. Got another person that's just like a Star Wars trailer, and it's freaking busting their balls over the place. Like, come on.
What did you think about it, John?
It was alright.
Yeah,
what are you getting all up in arms for if that's all you're saying?
No,
I mean, I'm pretty much the same way. It's like, it's okay. No. I mean, it's nothing flashy. It didn't really get me that hype for it. It was just like, okay, well, this is what I would expect.
No, here's the thing. And it's what I appreciate a lot about that teaser. It's this thing we keep saying trailer. It's a teaser. And it actually is a teaser. It said nothing. There was no dialogue. There was no conversation. There was no plot that was force-fed into us, and we all know exactly what the movie is, like every other trailer has been doing lately, of telling us every single pinpoint plot of all of the movie before we even get to the theater. We don't know shit after this teaser, but we did see some pretty stuff.
Yeah. Like the end of the trailer where Luke says something along the lines of, like, the Jedi needs to come to an end or something like that. Like, that got me really interested in seeing what he meant by that.
I think it's a fake out.
You think so?
I think it's a fake out.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting idea. I never even thought of that.
I give the review a 1 out of 5.
1 Piglet Sanchez out of 5.
Yeah. How'd you know?
I just took a wild guess, and I looked at your Skype picture, and I saw Piglet, and...
Oh, yeah.
I found it.
You found... Oh, the Jar Jar picture?
The dinner scene.
Oh, yes. Bring it on.
I'm ready for
Let's
this.
see this. Let's see this.
Let's see if I can get it here.
All I know is
boy.
that Gavin's gonna be upset that we're talking about all this stuff without him.
Man, I don't care what Gavin thinks, Joey.
Damn.
Gavin can come on the training stage and talk about it. Or he can talk about it on Salty Flicks, which launched today. You know? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that little indie thing.
That little... it kind of is.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm in.
Yeah. We're waiting, John.
I'm trying to get to a good part of it so you can see him fully.
Oh, God, here we go.
Oh, shit.
Yep, there you go. That's perfect.
And that never gets old.
It doesn't.
Oh my god.
I'm just waiting for Joey to see it. There he goes.
I gotta close this. Holy shit.
It's fucking surreal. Like,
Oh god, how could I, dude? If I was in that movie and if I was just sitting next to him, like I couldn't keep a straight face. Like, oh my god, that's.
I like just how he has a spoon and he's just scooping stuff.
Oh my god. Anyway.
Oh, that was a little bit of a detour, but we got a good Joey laugh track out of that.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So yeah, Star Wars The Last Jedi, that's coming out in December. It'll be a good time.
I'll see it
sure is a
in
movie.
15 years from now.
Yeah, Leif Erikson here hasn't even seen the other two.
Gosh, Leif
Gosh,
Erikson.
Leif Erikson. Joey, you should have never said that, because now it's just gonna stick.
You shouldn't have said like, well, we gotta make fun of his name or something. I don't know what you said.
Oh, gotta come up with something, right?
You know what else we can make fun of though?
What, Nintendo?
Nintendo, yes.
Yeah. So, according to Eurogamer and sources close to Nintendo, Nintendo is apparently developing a SNES Classic Edition, and that is why the NES Classic Edition is discontinued. So, and it is scheduled for at least for Christmas this year.
so in true Nintendo form, before the next console comes out, they have to discontinue the previous one because it obviously guys that
Yeah. I don't know why
I can't
they
wait to not own it.
I still don't know why they can't live on the shelf at the same time.
I don't either.
Because they would both sell really well.
They're just they're allergic to money is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of seems like it, honestly.
I mean, they have a silver platter right there, and they're just like, nah, you know what? I don't want it.
I mean, I think it's a really
give me the
smart
plastic
idea
plate.
for them to focus on the SNES Classic Edition for the holidays, but it's completely idiotic for them just to discontinue the NES Classic Edition because, like you said, people still want one, and it's still gonna sell.
When will Nintendo ever learn?
Never, probably.
That is the question.
It's Nintendo, dude. I mean, if they're always gonna make silly decisions, but we're still gonna love them because they make great games and they're Nintendo.
Yes, they do. They do make some really amazing games.
I just like to think in a parallel universe, like Nintendo's just on top of everything, and they're just beating the shit out of everyone.
And Sony is just like, Sony Fit.
Sony Fit
with Kratos as the trainer.
He's like the Wii Fit trainer.
Yeah.
Well, same
Now stretch your thighs.
Same skin color, so
Yeah.
that ghostly white color.
Yep.
But yeah, I totally can't wait to not own a SNES Mini because they're gonna be out of sale.
I wonder what the games would be on that.
That's a great question. Obviously, Super Mario World.
Yes.
Pilot Wings.
Yeah, I think Pilot Wings is a safe bet. Super Metroid, likely
Kirby
Link to the
Superstar.
Past. Kirby Superstar. I would say Dreamland 3 as well. I think
Yes.
they'll put both of those on there. Because if they're gonna do 30 games again, they gotta fill stuff up out of their library.
F-Zero. Was
F-Zero?
there an SNES F-Zero?
Yep.
I can't remember.
Yep. That's where it started.
Yeah, there was.
Star Fox.
Chrono
Oh yeah,
Trigger.
dude.
Yeah,
No.
I think if they could partner, because they did partner with Square for the NES Classic Edition, I think.
Yeah, but I don't think they would do Chrono Trigger.
Actually, if they're going to do that, it's probably going to be Super Mario RPG.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I would say they have a few RPGs on it, because the SNES is very well known for RPGs.
Yes,
So if they had to pick, I would say if they had to pick 4 of them, they would do Earthbound,
Well, yeah.
Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy 3, which is 6, obviously, and then Mario RPG. Like, I think those are the 4.
I don't think they would choose Chrono Trigger. I would think they would do Final Fantasy 2 or 3.
You think they would
before
just
Chrono Trigger?
They would do. I would think they would do 3 for sure.
Secret of
Over
Mana.
2. That's another good one. It's another really good possibility.
I just don't see Chrono Trigger. I mean, I know it's widely popular, but it's just.
I would say they don't do 20. I would say they don't do 30 games for the SNES. I'd say they do 20.
Maybe.
Because I think those games are a little newer. I don't know, though. They might be able to fill in 30 games if they reach out to some of their partners. I think they could get Street Fighter on there.
Mega Man X.
Yeah, Mega Man X would be great. Probably Super Castlevania 4. That'd be a good one to put on there.
I could see
trying to-
Castlevania on there.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, they had, 2 Castlevanias on NES Classic?
Yeah, that's why I say, like, I
Yeah, I
could see
think-
that being
yeah,
on the
definitely.
SNES.
Honestly, I can't think of a lot of games that would be on SNES because it's really, I think what really makes the SNES so great are the RPGs and the Nintendo games. So
Yes.
I don't know what else they would put on it. John, do you have any ideas?
No, I do have a question to bring up though.
Okay.
So you got the list of games for the NES and what came out on that, and the list that we're thinking up what would come up on the SNES Mini or whatever it's going to be called. Will any of those games show up as the free game you get on Nintendo Switch's online service?
I would say yes.
You really think so?
I really think so, yeah. I think since they have the rights to distribute those games again, they might as well put them on the Switch eShop when that starts up, when Virtual Console starts on that. So, yeah, I would say yeah. I'd say that they would take games from those 30 or 20 or whatever they go with.
They would be stupid not to.
I hope they put Donkey Kong Country 3 on there. I want to play as Kiddy Kong again.
Oh, how could I forget about Donkey Kong Country? Yeah, I don't know if they would do 3. I guarantee they'd put the original on there, though.
Yeah. That's a safe bet.
Yeah, for sure. Yoshi's Island is an interesting one.
That game.
If they did Yoshi's... Because the thing is, though, they never re-released Yoshi's Island. Ever.
I thought there was a Game Boy Advance version.
There was, and they did that, but they never re-released the SNES version of it. It was never on Wii Virtual Console, it was never on 3DS Virtual Console, and it never was on Wii U Virtual Console.
Plus, that Game Boy version is a piece of shit.
Yeah, it's not a great version of that.
I never played
it.
You
gotta play the original.
I've only played the original.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder why that was never re-released, like all the other
It
games.
had something to do with the chip it ran on.
Oh, yeah, it did have an interesting style to it.
Yeah.
Well, they had a lot of experiments on that game.
Yeah, that game is really interesting. That's a fantastic game. If they could get that on the SNES Classic, I would be thrilled. Oh, another one I forgot. Super Mario Kart.
There was a game I thought of, but I don't think they would put this in. Super Mario All-Stars. Just because... There's already 4 games on it. But I don't know if they would put that there.
I don't know either. I don't think they've ever re-released that game. Wait, they did on Wii, but never on Virtual Console. So I don't know. That's a good one I didn't even think of. I think Mario World for sure though.
Yeah. That's without a doubt going to be on there.
They should do Mario Paint.
They should do the Wizard of Oz game.
Yeah, that one's good. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't really know what else they could put on there. I think
Lester the Unlikely. That was a good one.
Lester the Unlikely.
You remember that game? That was a great game.
Yeah.
Stunt Racer FX.
That too.
Bubsy.
Everybody's favorite game. Actually, the 2D ones aren't that bad, are they?
What could possibly go wrong?
They're better than the 3D games, that's for sure. Or the one 3D games. Excuse me.
Who thought tank controls in a 3D platform was a good idea?
What could possibly go wrong?
Everything.
Oh, Bubsy. I think they should put Sonic the Hedgehog on the SNES Classic Edition. I think it'd be a real good fit.
Oh,
my favorite Super Nintendo game.
Yeah, definitely. But anyway, that is it for our news. We'll, of course, keep following the SNES Classic Edition when Nintendo speaks about it, because remember, that's a rumor, but it's probably going to happen.
If it's stupid to not... You know what? It is stupid enough for Nintendo to not do it, so, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
They are allergic to money.
Gotta be honest, though. If they did release that, I'd be so much more excited about it than the NES Classic. Not that the NES Classic is bad or anything, but the Super Nintendo had so many amazing games on it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I would be I would be all over the SNES Classic Edition a lot more than I was with the NES. I mean, I was totally excited about the NES Classic. I stood out in line for it, but Super Nintendo is a lot closer to my heart than the NES is, so
same.
I just think I'd be a lot more excited.
Can I have just one request to Nintendo over this? Please, Famicom colors. Ooh. No purples. Give us the red, yellow, green, and blue that we want.
Well, you do know if they do a mini, it's going to be the ugly North American style.
I don't want that.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. And then Japan's going to get the Super Famicom version.
I'll buy that then. Fuck that. I don't want the purple. I want the nice colors and the nice design.
Yeah, and like the candy buttons.
Yeah.
You didn't like the purple one?
Oh God, one thing I really,
not.
really hope they don't do this time around is make those cords as short as they were. Because man, those NES cords were so short.
Yeah.
Could just make them wireless.
Yeah, they could do that, but you know.
But then you wouldn't have the authentic SNES feeling, right?
Right, exactly. You got the right idea.
Who gives a shit about that, to be honest?
I just want to play the games. Well, we're a half hour and we should move on.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's spend another hour talking about Persona 5.
Well, let's start with another
Then we'll
game.
take another hour talking about Overwatch. How about that?
Well,
Let's make this a 4-hour podcast. Let's go for it.
so before we get into Persona and some other games that we've been playing, let's talk about Yooka-Laylee.
Oh.
Because that's the whole reason why BloodHawk is here. Or Leif Erikson.
Damn, man.
I realize...
BloodHawk is here for other reasons, too. Jeez.
Well, this is why you invited him on.
Well, yeah, but...
Shut
saying.
up, Joey. Shut up.
I feel like this is
Okay.
a way to talk about Yooka-Laylee and then everybody's going to kick me out of the podcast.
Oh, we're not talking about Yooka-Laylee anymore? Okay, BloodHawk, no thanks.
Get the fuck out of here.
So, you 100%ed it, Leif Erikson.
Yes. I collected everything.
What did you... What did you think of it? So, did you pick it up at launch?
I did pick it up at launch.
Okay, cool. What did you think of it? You 100%ed it.
I love the game, but I gotta be honest, the entire time I played it, all I could think of was, I really want Banjo 3. I just want Banjo 3.
Yeah, I do feel you there.
But there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a fantastic game. I absolutely loved it, and I hope
Same
we
here.
get a Yooka-Laylee or whatever they want to call it.
Yooka-Laylee.
Yooka-Laylee.
I only called it that because that's what I saw everywhere online, was just Yooka-Laylee.
Yooka-Laylee.
Yes.
It's fucking
terrible. You played it on Xbox One, I assume, right?
Yes.
Okay, I played it on the same. Did you experience frame rate issues?
A couple times, but it wasn't
Okay.
anything major.
Okay. My experience was a little bit different, but I'm one of those lucky guys that got early access to it.
I saw that and I was jealous.
Yeah. So I got the game 2 weeks before it came out, and it was very... Frame rate was definitely a noticeable issue playing it that early, but I think a week later they released the launch patch, and that made things totally better. Still had issues, especially in the casino. I don't know if you noticed that.
I actually
The
didn't have
casino
any
level...
there.
Really? That's where I had the most issues, was with the casino level. But I really did notice an improvement after the patch got implemented. And mind you, that was after the review came out.
Also, I want to throw this out there about the casino level. I mean, I know
Sure.
those guys were everywhere, but those inept guys, every time I saw them, all I could think of is, that's the Kinect. That's the Kinect. Why am I getting attacked by the Kinect?
I never thought of that, but now that you mention it, you're totally right. Oh, man.
It's literally just the
Yeah.
Kinect fighting you, especially the
Yeah.
boss in World 4.
That makes total sense now, too. Did you have problems with that boss?
Yes. I had...
That boss was ridiculously hard.
Yeah, it was.
Like, oh, I just wanted to tear my hair out. I think I actually got a little salty on a call, and it's been a while since I've gotten salty on a call.
Oh, big surprise there, right?
I'm not going to comment on that, Joey. Because you're going to say mean things about me.
Well, I mean, don't we already?
Well, yeah.
Don't we, John?
Yeah.
And who knows what you guys say behind my back.
Well, we talk shit about everybody.
Yeah, we do, totally.
Like Rob, of course.
Like Rob, yeah. Rob's always the target of our jokes. Always. But we love him.
We love you, Rob.
Anyway, back to Yooka-Laylee. What was your favorite world
My favorite world.
in the game? Yes.
I'm trying to honestly think what my favorite world in that game would be. I kind of want to say either 1 or 5.
Okay.
I gotta say, though, actually thinking about the levels, the transformations, is it just me, or are the transformations in the first 3 worlds just useless, pretty much? Because you use them for, like, one thing, and it's like, oh, you're done with this transformation.
Pretty much, yeah. I feel like they could have implemented them a little bit better. I think in World 2 is the snow level, right?
Yes.
That one was a little bit more useful. I enjoyed that one. World 1 was completely pointless. That was the flower.
And it was really
And
slow
then
to move around with that thing, too.
Yeah, it was really annoying. And then World 3, that was the swamp level. That one was... That one was okay, but yeah, I wasn't too fond of that one, to be honest. And then World 4 was... World 4 was sweet. The helicopter, yeah. That one was really handy.
Yeah, it was.
And then World 5 was...
The boat. The spaceship, as they called it. Even though it's just a boat.
It's just a boat. The last world, I don't want to spoil it for a lot of people, but that world is super cool.
Yeah, it is.
And I do want to ask you another thing about the casino level. Did you have a hard time finding 2 particular coins?
No, but I had trouble finding 2 quills at the end.
Huh, okay. There was one underneath a ramp that I didn't notice. And then there was one on top of the golf course pole.
Oh, yeah.
And I just did not... It took me like a good hour to find the 2 of those coins. So, and they were the only thing that I needed.
So whenever you're transporting the Knights of Hamelot...
Okay, yeah.
I actually saw the one on the pole. And the one underneath the ramp, I think I got lucky and just kind of fell down into it.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I checked every corner, and then I saw, like, the ramp kind of had a ditch in it, and I'm like, oh, the coin's in the ditches in it. And yep, there it was. Definitely has that classic rare... I have one thing to find. I have no clue where it is, so I'm going to scour every corner of this map to find it.
Oh, yeah.
And then eventually you find it. It just takes forever. Did you find all the skulls?
Yes, I did.
Those were a little bit tricky for me. I actually waited until the Tuesday it came out and looked up a guide. For like 2 of them.
I found one in World 1, 3, and 5 without a guide. 2 and 4 I did
not. I could not find the 1 in 5. That one was really well hidden though, because that was the one in that tube maze.
Yeah. Whenever I got outside, I was like, there has to be something out here, because this is the only place here that lets you go outside. There has to be something.
I didn't realize you could go outside of the tube area, so that's why I kind of goofed on that. And then I also had a hard time finding that other Ghost Rider, the red one.
Yeah, that one took me a while to find too.
Yeah, he was up in that UFO on the golf course.
Oh, did you find the secret thing in World 5?
What is the secret thing?
It's near the pirate ship.
Okay.
There's a rock underneath a tree that if you ground pound... I found this out online. If you ground pound it, a UFO will come by and it'll bring one of the little in-up guys. And you go talk to them, and they'll say... starting up dialogue sequence or exposition, something like that. And it'll say 50.1%, and that's all it says. And if you talk to them again, it'll be like, hey, you just gotta wait. Just be patient. So I'm wondering if, in a future patch, something will be added there, or if that has something to do with the pirate treasures at a later date.
Oh, you know what? I think that's gonna be where you might find the 64-bit tonic. Because that's not in the game.
Yeah, that's right.
That could be what that is. I had no idea about that. Interesting. But, yeah, I agree that I think World 1 and 5 probably were the strongest out of them. World 1 especially is really well designed and cool. I mean, come on, it has Shovel Knight in it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's so cool. But yeah, I loved the game too.
Thanks for spoiling that for me. Jeez.
Oh, it's already been spoiled up.
Oh, well, I didn't know about
everywhere.
It was spoiled before.
So that's technically a spoil.
Joe, you don't even like 3D platformers.
Yeah, well... Okay. Alright, you got a point.
I got you there.
I'm very sad that I didn't see the Yooka-Laylee rap in the game.
Yeah, I was bummed about that too. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. Like, playing through the game, I had a blast with it. I love the game. I'm totally gonna play it again.
Oh, yeah.
But I just want to play Banjo again.
Same. I would really love it if Microsoft would just let Rare do that, and hopefully it'd be good. Because I mean, even if they did make it, it's pretty much a new team behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, they were to do something like Killer Instinct and let Playtonic work on it.
Yeah, that would be interesting. So would you give Yooka-Laylee a recommendation?
Of course, especially if you love 3D platformers.
I agree. I gave it a buy it recommendation for my final verdict. And
because we don't do scores. Scores are overrated.
Well, I'm going to talk to you guys about that later.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I did not understand all the hate towards the game. I really didn't. Especially, I've talked to these guys about it. Like Jim Sterling's review, I felt like we played two completely different games.
I honestly feel like you either enjoy 3D platformers or you don't.
Yeah. And that game is definitely 90s 3D platformers. Like, if you don't like Banjo-Kazooie, you're not going to like Yooka-Laylee.
I miss 90s platformers, so that was a good
So do
trip.
I, yeah.
I miss
really
Bubsy
did.
3D.
Yeah, so do I. And it really did fill that void for me.
Same.
And it filled that Banjo void. For now, I still want to see those characters back in a collectathon 3D platformer. Microsoft, do it, please.
Yes, Microsoft, please. That's what we need right now.
And we have
What was
another
that?
3D.
You want nothing? Okay, here's more Connect Sports.
Joe, you shut your face.
It's gonna happen.
So we got that British 3D platformer. Now we got another one coming out in the holidays with Mario Odyssey. That's going to be the Japanese 3D platformer that Mario 64 started. That I'm also looking forward to.
That'll be the day I get my Nintendo Switch.
So that's the game that that's gonna sell you on one.
Yes. I'll be getting that. and
Odyssey?
Zelda.
You guys are talking about Odyssey?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm actually going to pick that game up. I was telling BloodHawk about this. But, I'm going to give Odyssey a chance.
You should.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna be spectacular.
I don't know if I'll even, actually do a playthrough of it. I'm not even sure if I'll complete the first world, but I do want it. I just want to give it a shot.
I think that game is gonna be very special. I think that game is gonna...
Well, yeah, I mean, we got new Donk City or whatever the fuck it was called.
Yeah, New
Mario's
Donk
still
City.
alive.
I don't... Because I think that game's gonna be special because we haven't had a Mario game like that since Sunshine. And this doesn't even feel like Sunshine. This feels like Mario 64, and I really feel like this game is gonna do something for Mario that Mario 64 did.
I hope so.
Not in the way that it was from jumping to 2D and 3D. That will never happen again. I just feel like in a way of how we view a Mario platformer. I feel like Odyssey's really going to change that a lot. And Galaxy did the same thing, but Galaxy wasn't like Mario 64 in a lot of ways. But it still changed the way...
It's just been a long time since we've had a game like that, period, so...
Yeah, definitely. And 3D World was a great game. I really enjoyed that game, but it wasn't the game I wanted.
It wasn't the same experience, yeah, I get
right,
it.
yeah. It wasn't the game I
will say, that was
craving.
the game I wanted, to be honest. Because, when 3D Land came out, I was just like, this is how I imagined Mario to begin with. That's how I imagined a 2D jump to 3D for Mario.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Fair
I was
enough.
like, yeah, this is the game I wanted right here.
I just when they announced they were working on a 3D Mario game for Wii U, I really thought this was gonna be another 64, and it just wasn't. I mean, I was even skeptical about that game, and then I went into an event and played it. I was like, wow, this game's really fun, and I'm looking forward to this game.
Did you ever play
now.
3D Land?
Yeah, I loved 3D Land.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been more or less the same.
I was just salty though because I didn't know. I really didn't want more of that. I had my fill of 3D Land. I loved 3D Land, but I wanted something more like 64.
I want more of that. You could shove all the, what is it, the new Super Mario Brothers? You could shove all that away. Just give me more of the 3D Land.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would
World
totally
stuff.
take more 3D World type games over the new Super Mario Brothers games in a second. But
that's how I feel.
So you
yeah, no, I agree.
So you reminded me of something that I saw a while back that I saw some people asking for. It wasn't a lot of people asking for it, but I really like the idea. So, you know the art style that they use for the characters in Super Mario 3D World?
Yes.
Somebody, or a few people brought up that they wanted a classic 2D side-scrolling Mario game in that art style like Rayman Legends.
That was me.
Was that you?
That was me. Yeah, I still want that very much.
I thought about that, and I do like that idea, because I would love to see that art style brought to life.
I think if anyone could do it, it would be Nintendo, and I think they could make a really beautiful game out of that.
They probably could.
It would just be so different, too. Because I'm just sick and tired of that new Super Mario Brothers art style, and it really hit me when Mario Run came out, because it was the same assets again.
For the third time?
Yeah, I want to say it was like, because they used the Wii U assets. So it was New Super Mario Brothers. No, it would have been the fourth time.
New Luigi U, or whatever it was called.
Yeah, they did New Super Mario Brothers U, Luigi U, Mario Maker, and then Mario Run. All used the same assets again and again and again. Like, you guys,
but Mario Maker was a good game.
Yeah, Mario Maker was a great game, but it still used that same Mario U assets that I just don't like.
It was great when it came out first, like, you know, when it first came out.
Oh yeah, the original Mario.
But it's just now it's like oversaturated to the point it's just like, give me something new, Nintendo.
Yeah, the first new Super Mario Brothers, the one on DS and the one on Wii, those were great games, and I loved both of those. But then they did 2 on 3DS, and then they did U. I played all of them. I've played all of them, so I don't know. I'm just ready for Nintendo to move past that, and let's do more experimental stuff with Mario.
Like Odyssey.
Yeah, like Odyssey. I want them to do that, but in 2D. Let's see what they can do with that. So, Yooka-Laylee. That was a game we were talking about.
No,
Yes,
it wasn't.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on the game? Any questions, concerns?
I just want more.
Yeah, so do I. I really hope they announce something soon.
How big is
about
the
a
game?
sequel.
Like, how many worlds?
There's 5 worlds.
It's 5 worlds. There's a hub world. And there's like 1,000 quills to collect. 1,010 to be exact.
How big is it compared to Banjo-Kazooie? Like, either of those games?
I would say it's a little smaller. No, maybe not. Banjo-Kazooie has more worlds, but they're smaller. Yooka-Laylee has less worlds, but they're bigger.
I feel like if you rate them from size, like Banjo-Kazooie, Tooie, and Yooka-Laylee, Banjo-Kazooie would be the smallest, and Banjo-Tooie is bigger than Yooka-Laylee.
Would be yeah, definitely. I think it kind of rests in the middle.
Okay.
Which is fine. I mean, I wasn't expecting a huge game out of it. I was shocked that I put 35 hours into it.
I put 20 into it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Did you use a guide for all the stuff? Or some of the stuff?
I used a guide for 2 of the pirate treasures.
Okay. Man, that's crazy that you found all that stuff in like 15 hours less.
Keep in mind,
I guess I did a lot of...
Keep in mind, all I did whenever I was little was play rare collectathons. So
I grew up with them too. I guess I just screwed around more. Exploring and...
You are talking to the man that loves Rare more than anything. Right, I don't know that for sure.
Leif Erikson?
Yeah, BloodHawk.
They made a lot
I like
of good
how
games,
we're
but
calling
they
them
also
2 different
made
names.
bad games. Not a lot, but they've made a few bad games.
Grab by the Ghoulies?
No, Grab by the Ghoulies was a great game. We all had a great time with the Diddle Reaper and Fiddlesworth, yeah, Grab My Piglet or whatever. Pet My Piglet.
Yeah, he does say pet my
Grab
piglet in
My
the game.
Goat.
Grab by the piglets?
I want to see that game.
Grab by the piglets.
You just play as Fiddlesworth.
No, I love Rare too, and I'm glad BloodHawk is also a big fan as well. Because, man, I was so excited when Rare Replay came out. Because I had just bought an Xbox One for Rare's next game. And they announced Sea of Thieves and a collection of all the Rare games. I was like, yep, That was a smart decision on my part.
I don't think.
And now it sits here
and
collects dust.
Pre-ordered anything as fast as I did Rare Replay.
Yep. I was in let me put it this way. I was in New York City when that game was announced. I was on a family trip. I literally, the first thing I did when I came home was go to GameStop and pre-order that game. No Nintendo games, no Sony games. I pre-ordered that and that only. Boy, and it came out like 2 months later.
Well, that's probably the best deal out of anything you're ever going to get.
Oh, that was
as far
a
as games
fantastic
go.
deal.
30 games for $30.
I think
Yep.
Conquer alone, if you wanted to buy it, it's like over $100 now.
Mm-hmm.
And you get that for $1 in the Rare Replay collection.
Did you replay Conkers?
Yes, I played through every single game on that collection.
Really?
Yes.
I gotta
streamed
catch
it
up.
too, didn't you?
I did stream Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Was it the rare replay version?
It was.
Okay.
Did you get all the trophies?
Oh yeah,
in
no,
Rare Replay?
duh. Yeah. I forgot I was in one of those.
I am missing one achievement in Rare Replay, and that's the Stamper Brothers achievement thing for having all the stamps.
Are you gonna get that?
At some point, yes.
I need to do that. You've inspired me. I want to go back to this game now and like really sit down and finish it. I guess the thing that turned me off from it was probably the NES games.
Oh, Battletoads is so hard.
Yeah, that's. I'm kind of scared.
I'll play it with you.
Will you, Piglet?
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Do you have that
Doesn't
game?
doesn't have co-op or whatever?
No, it does not. The only games
No.
on the collection that have co-op are the 360 titles.
Yeah,
Dang
that
it.
sounds about right.
So you have to play the game by yourself. That blows.
To be fair, though, Battletoads is harder to co-op than it is solo.
Oh.
Because you can beat each other up, and that's no good.
Yeah, I need to get back to that collection. It's something like I've really wanted to do. I feel like when I go back to it, I'm going to replay Banjo-Tooie right away.
I just replayed that recently, and I
What?
really want to go back to it.
It's... See, every time I want to go back to Banjo-Tooie, I'm just like, I'm just going to play Kazooie again. So,
Well,
I think that wraps up for Yooka-Laylee.
Is
Oh,
one-
oh, yeah, John, I'm sorry. You
No,
wanted
you-
to say something. What?
No, just really say we did get that copy. You did, I should say, as a promotional for us to do for a
Yes.
review, right?
Yes.
The shilling has paid off.
Yes. We got Danganronpa earlier that month, and then we got early access to Yooka-Laylee from Team 17. Shoutouts to them. Great contact with them. And maybe some new stuff upcoming that I can't talk about. But
The shilling, yes.
things are coming up. I'm excited. I will say this, Surreal Resolution as a whole, and this is some real shilling here for the website. I feel like we've grown more in the 6 months we've had Surreal Resolution than we did in 2 years of Toonami United.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a burn towards our staff or anything like that on Toonami United. I'm just saying, like, we've just put so much more effort into Surreal Resolution
We have more.
that never would have been even possible with Toonami United.
We have more ambitions. Like,
Yeah.
And I'll be frank. Like, even if we did go further with United, like, what's the best we would get? Just the interview with DeMarco, and there's not much further to go.
Convention coverage, and we can do that with this website, too.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
good luck,
Do I need to put the rooster noise in there?
baby.
Okay. Well, I'll see.
All Toonami-based coverage out there. Good luck.
Well, I don't want to like diss any of the Toonami based stuff, but I'm just saying us personally.
Oh yeah.
We've done a lot more growth
Yeah.
in the 6 months that this website's been active than in the 2 years that Toonami United was a thing. And just us getting review stuff now just completely solidifies that for me.
Which none of us really saw
Because-
coming, but
This is a little bit of the behind the scenes. Our internal goal was to get just one, before the end of the year. We broke that goal 8 months before that goal.
We had a meeting about it, and then we had it within that same month.
Yeah. Yep. It was insane. Really was. But, yeah, so we did get a review code, so obviously that's a big disclaimer. But that does not affect the way I feel about the game. At all. Like, I love the game. I would have bought it, and I would have loved it if I bought it.
Yeah.
But you didn't, like, love it completely, though. Like, you had some stuff to complain about.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I mean, the frame rate obviously is an issue. I don't think the mini-games were particularly, like, mind-blowing or even fun at times.
Some of them were really stupid hard.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no perfect game.
No, absolutely not.
As much as we want to say, like, you know, John thinks Persona 5 is probably, like, really good game, but, you know, I think Baldur's Gate's a fucking awesome game, but all games have flaws when it comes down.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think Breath of the Wild's one of the most brilliant games of recent years, but it definitely is still flawed in some ways.
I don't even want to start that kind of discussion, but at that point it becomes a ruling of what would we call perfect and what would be the rule.
Yeah, that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah, let's not get into that.
But yeah, so Yooka-Laylee, great game. I loved it. I'm glad BloodHawk, Leif Erikson liked it.
I'm honestly,
we're just gonna do this, aren't we?
I'm honestly excited at this point for whatever Playtonic decides to do next.
Same here. Yeah, same here. Really, really pumped about their future. I hope they continue to grow too.
I'm sure they will.
Like even during Yooka-Laylee's development, they grew their staff using more Rare people. Like, more people from Rare came over to work on Yooka-Laylee, which I find really interesting. Some sort of dynamic there at Rare that isn't quite right still, I feel like.
They just must have been, like, bored off their asses.
They might have been, yeah. I remember reading an interview with one of the former Rare employees that says, I don't know, I just got sick and tired of modeling avatars, so I left.
You mean the Xbox's Mii's?
Yeah.
Those things.
So everyone at Rare was imprisoned like people in Konami.
Ooh.
And
maybe.
Yooka-Laylee is telling the story of what happened.
Yeah, because Capital B is kind of a representation of Microsoft, I feel like.
We're going to take all these things that people love and make them our own.
Oh my god. Tyler.
Guess we have to make our own.
I just thought of something, Tyler.
Yeah?
What if in Death Stranding, Kojima has a Konami in the game?
That would be awesome.
I hope
we need that. We need that badly.
Now, Eric, are you a Kojima fan?
Yes.
Yes, we got another one.
Got some bad news for you, though. I haven't played Metal Gear Solid 5 at all.
What?
I really need to pick them up.
You shouldn't have said that, BloodHawk.
You really need to get on that.
Now they're gonna do what they did to me and just be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
The game's brilliant. Like, you got to play that game.
It's a game I'm definitely going to pick up in the near future. I'm also going to pick up
It's
Metal Gear
so
Solid 1
cheap.
because I want to play through the entire series again.
That sounds like a good plan, actually.
I want to play through them in chronological order if I can.
So, like, Metal Gear Solid 3 and then Peace Walker.
Yeah. And then...
Like, are you doing, like, release? What's that?
I'm doing actual chronological order. So, Revengeance will be last, won't it?
Yeah. So you're going to do story order.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's 3. It's Snake Eater, I guess Portable Ops if you want to do that, Peace Walker, Phantom Pain, Metal Gear 1, Metal Gear 2, Metal Gear Solid 2, 4, and then Revengeance.
Oh yeah, I know this is never going to happen.
That sounds really complicated.
I wish Konami would have remade Metal Gear 1 and 2 in like the Metal Gear Solid 5 engine.
Well, they did. It's called a pachinko game.
Yeah. Have you seen that Metal Gear Solid 3 machine?
I don't even want to talk about that.
It's just depressingly good. Like, the way those characters look, it's just so good that it just makes me so depressed.
I saw one of the cutscenes from that, and I thought they were remaking it, and I saw Pachinko, and I was just like, Nami, you had one chance. You had one chance to win me back.
You know what makes that better? It's the fact that they did the same thing to Castlevania.
Yeah.
Just recently, they did this.
Oh,
And
yeah.
BloodHawk,
Castlevania's Konami. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Man, yeah, you really gotta play Phantom Pain.
I will. I really
It's like
want to.
$20. It's like $20. You should just pick it up and enjoy it.
It's
a good game.
I honestly didn't know it was that cheap already.
Yeah. It's real cheap.
I bought it for $40.
How about that Metal Gear Survive, though?
Oh, that's gonna be a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember when we talked about that.
Yeah, that's supposed to come out this year. I don't think
for
it's
some
gonna come out
reason,
this
one
year.
of you defended it. I think it was Tyler.
None of us defended it. I said that.
Yeah.
I think.
No, I distinctly remember somebody defending it.
I think
I know
might
it
have
wasn't John. I know it
I might have
definitely wasn't John.
I might have defended it on the point of people reacting to it, of like, how dare Konami use the Metal Gear name? Like, yeah, they're gonna use the name. I wasn't too hot on the idea of a zombie Metal Gear game.
Maybe that was it.
And,
I think... Okay, go ahead, John.
no, and for what I said was, I think the game will come out decent, but be a tsunami of DLC and crap like that. Just taking advantage as much as they can to get as much money out of people's hands, because it's going to be a horde zombie game. Yeah, that's going to have DLC all over it.
Yep. So yeah, Metal Gear. Totally off topic, but that's cool. So do you guys want to talk about Horizon Zero Dawn for a minute?
No. I mean, yes.
I played through Horizon Zero Dawn this past week. I finished it, and I got the platinum.
Ooh.
So I want to talk a little bit about Horizon Zero Dawn because I feel like it was an interesting experience coming off of Zelda almost directly onto Horizon. So I finished Zelda, and I immediately wanted to go back to Horizon, but something just was not clicking for me with Horizon after Zelda. I don't know what it was, but I immediately knew I cannot force myself to play this game. I'm going to let it sit for a moment, and I'm going to go play some other stuff. And that's when we got review codes for Danganronpa and Yooka-Laylee. So I played those two games, and then it was like, okay, I played some more shorter, more condensed games that are a little bit simpler, a little bit more chill. Now it's time to go back into Horizon and really finish that up. And when I did that, I immediately got sucked back into it. I would want to say 50 hours into that game within a week.
Damn.
Yeah, so I obviously got really sucked into the game again. And it is an excellent game. Definitely a great game. But I don't think it's as good as Zelda was.
Well, sure.
Because
I mean, that doesn't mean anything coming from the Zelda fan.
No. And I want to explain why I don't feel like it was as good as Zelda, because there are certain aspects of Horizon that I feel like were better than Zelda, but the overall experience I don't feel like was.
But I know what you mean, because I mean, I haven't personally played the new Zelda game yet. I hope I do eventually. But it is kind of like, in a way, it's just night and day comparison in some ways.
Zelda,
you know what I mean?
yeah, Zelda's more open.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to do and experiment with in Zelda than there is in Horizon. Horizon's a little bit more straightforward in what you need to do. Though I think the overall combat is more... I think the moment-to-moment combat is more complicated in Horizon, but all of the systems and the way you craft things in Zelda is a lot more complicated and deep than it is in Horizon. Like, I think the strategic element in Zelda is a lot more complicated than in Horizon.
Well,
but
here's the thing, though. Like, with Horizon, while it is a great game, you could tell it does take certain aspects from previous games. Kind of like what Fallout 4 did. Like, it took stuff from Telltale, Mass Effect, and you kind of get that feeling with Horizon as well.
Yeah.
Like, you could definitely see, like, they took some inspiration from Mass Effect, some other
Far
open world
Cry.
games. Yeah, Far
Far
Cry.
Cry for sure.
Whereas Zelda, it really does feel like, I mean, it has some of those similarities, sure, but it feels really unique in comparison.
Yeah, I agree. I think Horizon's story, and obviously I don't want to get too much into spoilers, I feel like the story is just very well done, but it leaves you wanting more, and it just sets itself up so well for a franchise.
Well, hopefully,
And that's
hopefully
all.
hopefully,
I think they're working on a sequel right now. To be honest,
I hope so.
The only thing I'll say is the way that game ends, it's like, oh boy.
We're gonna get sequels.
Like, this felt like, and I know this comparison's been made a lot, it feels like Uncharted 1 all over again. Uncharted 1's a really good game, but it leaves you kind of wanting a little bit more. But I feel like Horizon 2 is going to be that. It's going to be the game. It's going to be one of those really special games. Just like...
That's...
Even with the Assassin's Creed effect. Like, Assassin's Creed 2 is very beloved.
I'm glad you said that, because I was just about to say, I hope it doesn't become like that.
Well, Assassin's Creed 2 is a very beloved game, and so is Uncharted 2.
Oh, I know. Assassin's Creed has, like, some really good, humble beginnings, but it's, lately it's just like, well, how many games can we throw out a year? You know? Like, I hope it doesn't go to that level with Horizon, but I do hope it is, like you said, kind of like Uncharted.
I think so. And I mean, just to be fair to Assassin's Creed, I completely agree. Assassin's Creed has had a lot of really spotty moments. But I even feel like after 2, there have been a few good games. Black Flag in particular.
Oh, yes. I love Black Flag.
So I gotta give credit where credit is due. But obviously, looking to stuff like Rogue and... goodness, what was that? Unity was the one that shipped really bad.
They're missing their entire faces.
Yeah.
It's a game that named itself after a bad engine.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
That one was good, John.
Damn.
But I really feel like Horizon's got a really bright future to it. I think Aloy's a great character. She's
more
really
like
well
Baloy, am I right?
yeah, wink, wink. She is really pretty, though.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. But I really love her as a character. She's very well developed, and just a great character overall. And her personality is great, too. She's so sarcastic, and she's so witty.
Oh, I know. I love it.
She's just like, yeah, whatever, dude. But she has a lot of emotion to her as well, especially when you get deeper into the story. Like, things, when she kind of realizes, I guess, her goal and, like, what she's there for, I think she really changes as a character after that point.
So would you say that this is easily going up as a category for best new IP of the year?
Oh, yeah, hands down.
Maybe
sure.
even the winner? So
I don't
Yooka-Laylee?
know. I don't know if this is going to be a Game of the Year nominee.
Oh, it probably... Well, we'll
see.
see.
That's the
We'll
thing.
see.
That's the thing. It really could be, but it might not be. It's definitely going to be a consideration, but I don't know if it's going to make that final list.
It's just there's so many good games this year.
Right, because we still have...
Crazy.
We got Persona 5, we have Zelda, we have, we got Prey, there's, Mario's still coming, Sea of Thieves is still on its way, Red Dead Redemption 2, Ni no Kuni 2.
We still got 8 months of games to go.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many really promising games coming out.
And we've already got, 5 contenders?
Yeah, and
That's so far.
I would even throw Nier Automata on that list, even though none of us have played it yet. I feel like once I play it or once John plays it, that discussion is just going to spiral. Because I hear amazing things about that game.
I've heard mixed things, but maybe
Really? I've heard nothing but praise.
It's been nothing but good. across the board.
Yeah.
And
Really?
for once,
That's what I've heard, though.
with Platinum in the name, the sales are there finally.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad that game did well. I think that's one of the most unexpected successes of the year.
Yeah.
Like, who would have thought that game would have done well? But it did, and that's great. Man, this has been a great year so far for games.
To a point that
Yeah,
we're all overwhelmed at this point already.
I gotta say, I gotta call
really
you out
am.
on this. I gotta call you and Berserk out on this. But I recall you guys saying something about like last year was gonna be the year of games.
Joey, you always gotta bring this up, my friend. You always gotta
You
bring it
said
up.
that
I
at
said-
like what was it, April? It was pretty much when we started the podcast, and
It
it
was
was
right before
nothing
we
but
started the podcast.
disappointment after disappointment afterwards.
and the game that ended up stealing everyone's hearts wasn't even a game I was even considering being part of the best year of games. Which I
What,
find so
Overwatch?
funny.
Overwatch.
Overwatch, yeah. Overwatch wasn't even on my radar until the beta happened.
Well, yeah, same here to be honest. But then John
So
said, "Hey,
close.
man, you guys gotta go play it."
Man. So, Leif Erikson, what do you think about 2017 and Horizon and all that?
Horizon looks like a fun game, but since they don't have a PS4, I can't actually play that game yet.
Oh.
Chaotic said he liked it too.
Yeah, he did. From what I've seen from both of you playing, it looks amazing.
I feel
It is a really good game. I just need
I
to go
feel-
back to it.
I feel bad for you, Eric, because you're gonna get left behind for whatever Scorpio future gen is now, and you're stuck with the Xbox and you got no PlayStation.
I'll have a PlayStation at some point. Before the end of the
Damn.
generations, I usually have all the consoles.
You should definitely get a PS4 by the end of the year. Because right now is the time to jump in. If you're going to jump in on PS4, this year's the year to do it.
Look, I understand the reason why BloodHawk got the Xbox One because it was the same reason that I got the Xbox One. Okay.
Yeah, because you guys followed the crowd.
Well, in particularly, it's just so we could, hang out with our buddies.
Yes.
See, I bought my consoles because there's games I wanted to play on them.
But I will say, this is... I probably won't get another Xbox system unless, it's bought for me.
I will say
Because I don't know.
if I had nobody to talk to, I had no friends at all, PS4 would have been the way for me. I would have been going straight for the PS4. They have so much more exclusives than the Xbox One does.
And
Yeah.
I mean, they might release more exclusives this year, too. I mean, I think it's a real possibility that either Days Gone or God of War makes it out this year.
Yeah, this is really a great year for both Sony and Nintendo, and just for Microsoft, it's just kind of like a... They're pretty much Nintendo from last year,
Yeah,
essentially.
I wouldn't go that far, personally.
I
I would
would.
say... No.
I would. I
even
would say it might even be worse.
No, I wouldn't say worse, but I said I think in a podcast before the Xbox One is turning into their Wii U with how they're treating this Scorpio now.
I mean, it's really going to depend on how State of Decay 2 and Crackdown 3 do.
Yeah.
Because I feel like those are going to be the heavy hitters for the holidays. Sea of Thieves we'll see about, but I don't foresee Sea of Thieves being this big thing,
I don't know.
Are you
I don't see. The only one I see that actually could pull some numbers, sell some systems is Crackdown 3, but otherwise I don't see anything for it.
Right, and they don't have a new Gears, and they don't have a new Halo this year either. So that's going to be
They
kind of an issue.
technically did, but...
Halo Wars 2,
Yeah.
but that's a strategy game.
Yeah, I know.
And
I have to
don't-
be that guy.
I don't think that game even did that well, to be honest.
I'm actually looking it up right now.
I think it did
Yeah,
moderately
I would love to hear the numbers for that game because I know Horizon sold over 1 million easy.
Well, I mean, that's
And then
that's just not a good comparison.
and then obviously Nintendo sold 2 million Switches, and it's almost they've almost sold 2 million copies of Zelda.
Yeah, I think that was
So-
their most successful game of all time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was their most successful game at the launch of a system ever. It beat out Mario 64, if you can believe that.
That is amazing.
That is mind blowing.
But then again, this was a game that was just teased and all that for years.
God, the thing, I think it was teased for us, the big video game fans, but they just started talking about it for the wider public. Like, E3 was the first time they really brought Zelda out and said, here it is, play it. And then obviously they did that Japanese event, and then after that Japanese event, it was literally everywhere.
Yeah, they advertised
Zelda
the shit
was.
out of it.
Yeah. God, I'm just
them.
so glad that game turned out the way it did.
Yeah.
Like, this entire year could be complete garbage, and I would still be happy Zelda turned out well. But it's not. That's the thing.
Aren't you glad it didn't come out last year?
I'm very glad it didn't come out last year.
Actually, no, I guess it would have been. I mean, it would have been better if it came out last year in the same form that it.
If it came out in the same exact way it did last year, yeah, it would have been way better because it would have.
The year would have been a lot better.
it would have completely destroyed our Game of the Year list. Like, there would have been no question on what Game of the Year is. Because I feel like last year we kind of were like, what do we put on this list? Like, I feel like the only games that we were like 100% behind were
Overwatch was warranted.
Overwatch and Pokemon. I feel like those are the only games we were completely confident
I can't even remember what else we put on the list.
Battlefield 1 was one of the games, and then I forget what our other ones were.
See, that's really
Uncharted.
bad.
Uncharted was one of them.
Yeah, I think Uncharted was one. Were those the only four?
I want to
say there were 5.
I think we had 5. No, we had 4. We only had 4.
Okay.
It was Battlefield 1, Uncharted, Pokemon, and Overwatch.
We may have to add an extra slot
I think we're gonna
do.
I think we're gonna do 5 this year. I think we'll do 5 or 6. I'm not sure.
That'll actually be a hard one. It won't be like, oh, what do we put on it? It's like, it won't be like that. It'll be like, damn, what the fuck do we put on this list?
We're really gonna have some very interesting debates at the end of the year for our Game of the Year show.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's oh man, 2017 is such a great year so far for
this
games.
is the year of gaming, okay?
Yeah, it is.
For sure.
I told you guys 2017 would be better. I was wrong about 2016. Shut up, John. I told you. Whatever.
Let's not curse at it. And suddenly it's just turned shit around the wrong way. Let's just enjoy the ride as we're going down it.
I almost feel like conversation is going to happen next year around the same time.
Really?
Not saying that I don't have any faith in this year. It's just like, you never know what can happen. You never know. Even if a game looks fantastic, it could come out and be like, what happened? What happened to this?
I feel like 2018 is going to be sort of a relaxed year almost. Like, we really don't know a lot about what's happening in that year. Like, we might get a couple Sony exclusives come out, and Microsoft obviously doesn't have anything lined up for 2018.
Voodoo Vince 2.
And... But I don't know.
It'll be really hard to top this year, I think.
I think it will too.
But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I got the Halo Wars.
Next year Fire Emblem's coming out, so there's that.
Yeah.
I gotta get a Switch.
I got the Halo Wars numbers up.
How much did it sell?
So I gotta make sure I tell you this. For the first game, the first week it was out, it sold 146,000. Second week, 521,000.
Damn, that's not too bad.
Yeah, and it went back down, but it stayed pretty steady on how much it sold. First week,
it's doing decent.
The first week of Halo Wars 2, 149,000. The second week, 38,000.
Ooh.
The third
for Halo Wars.
Yes, for Halo Wars 2.
Okay, so what was the first game that you said?
The first game.
The first one was Halo Wars.
Halo Wars.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It skyrocketed that second week. And then for this one, it's just the last week they went down to 15,000, and
it's not doing good at all.
The total sales as of right now is 200,000.
It was going up against Horizon that week. I think it was this. They came out the same day, right?
And you also got to realize, I believe the original Halo Wars came out during the holiday season.
Yeah.
So it makes sense why it would spike.
But
yeah.
That drop of sales and like not even making any kind of numbers at all, like, this is pathetic. and as I was looking this up, like, I found a story that said that the physical copies of the US U.S. physical copies of the game were canceled.
Okay.
So they don't have faith in their own game, I guess, either. That's the only thing I could
Well, we saw that with what was it called again? What was the Platinum game or whatever? Scalebound. I really hope Microsoft, bounces back, but it's just like they're really kind of shooting themselves in the foot. At least for this year.
We'll see what E3 brings.
We'll see.
Risks.
I that's my big thing. I really want them to take more risks.
I'm trying to think of
Actually,
anything besides
use
Sea of
that
Thieves.
banjo name.
But all I can think of is sequel.
Yeah, I mean that's what their lineup is. And
Speaking of sequels,
jeez, what a segue.
Yeah, I don't know. But what were you
Persona
gonna say?
5?
Yeah,
we should definitely segue into Persona 5 because we're going on an hour and a half.
Well, let's add another hour and a half to that.
Oh,
Right, John?
Sure.
Joey, I'd like to go to sleep at some point tonight.
Oh,
same here.
But hey, another hour and a half isn't too bad.
I agree.
It'll only be 2 in the morning.
Damn, John.
Persona 5, you guys have been playing Persona 5. What do you guys think of it?
I'll let Joey talk first.
Well, out of all the games that have probably, have gotten pushed back and delayed, let's not count Zelda because, it's a Zelda game. It's always going to come out perfect. But out of all the delayed games I've seen, I'd say this one's, like, the best one that's come out. Like, even more so than Horizon, which is still a great game. But it's just, like, I can't ever say, like, I've never really played a game like Persona 5. It's very unique. And it's, like, all those other games that have been delayed, it's like, they're kind of run-of-the-mill, like, it's been done before, but it's just like something like this I've never played before. And it's just, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. It's just like, this is probably, like, the best game that's been delayed. Like, it was warranted, I guess. I don't know. I'm not even sure how to, like, go into this, really, but it's like, I didn't know what to expect. I knew that it was, this game was done by Atlas, same people that did Shin Megami Tensei, and I had previously played 4 before, and I did enjoy that. But it's like, going into it, I had no idea that this would even have, like, connections to Shin Megami Tensei. I was just like, wait a minute, I've seen that monster before in those other games, and it's just like, I come to find out, it's like, hey, these two games are actually connected. In fact, Persona was actually a spin-off of Shin Megami Tensei, and it seems to have actually,
completely
like,
surpassed it.
Yeah, it's just more popular, yeah. Kind of surprised. Well, I'm not too surprised. I mean, it's kind of clear why it's more popular.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, I'll let you go into it, John. You probably have something more I could work off of.
Well, first of all, this entire time before this game came out and all the delays that were happening, I kept going like, all right, I know the money problems I'm running into. I can't get it when it's going to come out. I'm not going to get it when it's going to come out. And then finally, something happened. I won't say just how things just fell into place so perfectly. And I just said, all right, it's time. And I hit the fuck it button. And I got a PS4. And I got a PS TV. And I got an Elgato capture card. And I got Persona 5 all at once. Just buy them all right the fuck now. Off of Amazon. And I also got the Uncharted 4 bundle part of it. So I'm going to play that after I'm done with Persona 5. Which, that won't be for a while, but...
Oh, yeah.
Once I'm done with the first playthrough of Persona 5, I'm going to break that into it too. But for what Joey was saying, it's hard to really get into what the game is. It is hard to summarize what Persona games are. It's a bit of a struggle. Like, you go with just say the generic stuff, it's just RPG, do some dungeon fighting, you got some real life stuff, but the way that it all comes together,
It's like nothing I've ever played before.
No, there's no other series that represents what this game is doing. And
it's truly unique.
And there's no other games that attempt to do the same thing. That's what's kind of crazy to me, and I'm wondering how things are going to play out, because like for, let's say, Dark Souls and how that went out, and how much has influenced the industry now. Like there's just Dark Souls clones left and right. There is the factors of those games being put into many other games, the stamina bars and all the actions, all that kind of stuff. It's probably going to happen with Persona in some sense, but I don't know how well that could be replicated because of how, well, for one, it's now a practice thing for the Atlas to have made a game that mixes together so perfectly a blend of you're a high schooler going through real life high school stuff. You got your social links, you got your relationships that you try to build up with your friends, and the adults in the community, and the assholes in the community that try to rip you off, and mix that in perfectly with the dungeon crawling, the grinding, how every realm that you go into is a representation of someone's mind or psyche or anything like that. Like, we'll see. I have no idea. I
like, that was something I was gonna say though. It's just like, I can't believe a game with a fucking talking cat and people just dressing up in weird costumes fighting otherworldly creatures is actually more realistic than anything I've ever played before. With the way, all the experiences that the characters have, just all the shit that they have to go through. I'm just like, man, this shit is really fucking real. It's crazy.
And you're playing Persona 4 Golden, at least on and off, whenever you get to it.
Yeah, I went ahead and got that, and it's just kind of like a whenever I feel like it thing.
Yeah. And you'll see that pretty much all the games go that same route in terms of how down to earth the world is. In terms of world building and the atmosphere of it all, it's very grounded.
I was very impressed with how they, how Persona 4 started. Like, they get all that shit out of the way quick, and it's just done perfectly. Like, how they set it up with all the characters and what's going on. It's just, I've never seen a game that just does that before. It's just, everything syncs up so perfectly. I don't know, it's just kind of an amazing thing.
It's kind of weird, because usually for Japanese games that have the really, really long intro of just nothing but dialogue, for the beginning of Persona 4 and the beginning of Persona 5, there is basically nothing but dialogue. You're not really acting, you're just kind of walking from spot to spot and being introduced to everything in the game and just being introduced to what the world is going to be.
Yeah, and whereas with other RPGs or JRPGs that do that, it's mostly boring.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that entertaining, but it's kind of fascinating in this game, because, I mean, that is kind of a chunk of the game, even when you get past the first part. Like, you could spend an entire week just doing nothing, but just living your life as a high school kid.
Going to classes, having to answer certain questions in classes, improve your knowledge, and you get more knowledge stats, and going after school, hanging out with a friend, or going to the other world, or just doing shopping and going to the diner, or whatever happens, whatever takes up time. That's what you just end up doing. It's just like I said, it's just a perfect blend of what I know Tyler is going to really love once he gets to this game. What is just relaxing. It's just relaxing, easygoing, like.
I remember. I don't mean to cut you off, but I was just thinking. I remembered that I had just spent like recently when I was playing the game, I had just spent so much time just doing all the other just life stuff, to the point where the game was just like forcing me, like, hey, we gotta go back to that dungeon, man. You know, like, you're kind of just like wasting time. Like, we gotta go back and do this. All right, that's just kind of funny.
So I should explain that part of the game for Tyler and BloodHawk, or Eric. So in this game, you are deadlined pretty much every month to a certain mission or objective that you have to complete. So in that, before you get to that certain time, you got your just regular time just to do whatever you want. You can go to hang out with your friends and increase the social links, or you can go to batting cages and swing away, do all that kind of stuff. You go to the bathhouse at night. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you could do in that meantime to build up your social stats, build up your social ranks, making money, there is jobs in the game that you can get to make money in that meantime. And just everything that you're doing in the real world builds up what you're gonna do in the dungeon. In the just say dungeon world for now. And for this game, your deadline to a certain event that will happen that will either have someone, I don't know, killed, or have your phantom thieves be revealed, your identity.
Yeah.
And for the previous game, and I don't know if you know, Joey, but for Persona 3, there was no deadline. It was just the full moon is coming. That's the day that shit goes down.
So kind of like Majora's Mask, sort of?
Yeah. So everything that you're doing before that time is just you training to be ready for that day.
Okay, yeah.
Persona 4 is more like what Persona 5 is doing, in which if you don't get to that day, things will go terribly wrong.
Game over, basically.
Yeah, and they do actually have it show you play out the game ending. Like, they say, like, you'll get a phone call from your friend. It's like, we didn't go to the dungeon on this day. They're dead. And
Shit.
Yeah, and just lay it in heavy like that, and just let your player just kind of realize what they did, and then game over the screen. And
so you went out and did that, huh? Is that what you meant when you said you're gonna look into everything this game has to offer?
Every single thing that this game that can be found out in this game, because the game is never as simple as just game over. There is other routes that can happen. Like, I know at some point in the game you could probably have a bad ending or a good ending towards the very end, but there is things in the middle of every single section that you can get the game over for and see what happens. And every little detail of the game is like I showed you, Joey, for Makoto in school. There's just little details all over the place that you could just miss. It's not consequential to have missed it, but it's always just little details that are just amazing to see, that every single day there's something new that you could find.
Yeah, I kind of actually regret not doing that now. Just like letting the timer go off and just see what goes down.
Yeah.
If I don't actually do this in time.
Yeah.
Because I did hear about that too, like, you know, that there would be some extra story stuff that would reflect on that.
Mm-hmm. And if you haven't been going through to talk to people or listen to conversations throughout the entire school, you would see storylines that are happening in everyday life that leads to what happens in Mementos. And that's something that's crazy that I kind of figured out, where one of the Mementos stories that you go down to that you have to resolve is a cyber stalker. There's this girl that's like basically yandere, and she's obsessed with a guy, and she's just like, I'm gonna kill any bitch that goes near this guy. Like, she's gone that crazy into it. And through the entire school year, you can see these two in action. You can see the girl peeking around the corner and just staring at the guy with really creepy eyes on her. Really creepy looking girl.
Oh yeah, you know what? I've seen that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
That leads to an actual mission.
I never thought about that though. I've never thought about that.
And that is happening all over the game.
Oh fuck, that's just crazy.
and you could never find it, and you would still be able to do the mission, but you would never get that also hint. So like, I know after this mission I have to go back over there and see like how things turn out, like how she changes, and if she asks him out or anything like that. Like, it's nuts.
Damn, man, you're making me look at this game in an entirely different way now.
That's just what I had to, through Persona 3 and Persona 4, I had to learn, like, you know, there is just, because they treat a lot of these games, like, I'll say like this, Atlas with Persona, they treat it more like a passion project than they do what it's become now, which is just a mega AAA game. Like from this point on, they're stuck with this title being AAA games. But Persona 4 and Persona 3, they didn't make sales like that. They weren't big mega blockbuster type of things. They were just kind of cult things that people loved, and they just put a lot of heart into. And it's kind of the reason why a lot of those translations that came over to US took so long, because they wanted to make sure that every single thing that they translated was right. It's never going to be perfect, but it came out right once it gets into the States.
Definitely makes sense why this was like almost 10-year game in the making, right?
Yeah. And I only expect the next one to be the same. That it's going to be exactly the same. It's going to be a completely different style, a completely different look, because they never wanted to stay the change move. They always want to experiment more with it and keep evolving with the series.
Yeah, that's something I definitely have mad respect for.
Yeah. And now they're actually making money off it, and not having to do what they did with Persona 4 and milk it for every single thing they can. They had 2 animes for Persona 4. They had the manga. They had the 2 spin-off games.
Yeah, the Dancing All Night.
Yes. And technically Persona 4 Q. I mean Persona Q on the 3DS. They had a movie. I think they're making another movie. I forgot if that's happening or not. I know they're making another Persona 3 movie. They had multiple magazines that were made for it, of like kind of manga type things. Like they milked Persona 4 to death to get as much money out of it as they could, because they sustain themselves. They don't ask the publisher for, like, essentially for the money to make the games. They just do it themselves. They sustain themselves, which is insane to think out of a dev that could be just, at this point with this game, I think they're going to publish it themselves. They don't have to rely on Sega, but they're going to.
I am curious to see how that will play out.
Without going too far into gushing and fanboying over this game, I will say one thing, especially with the whole streaming and YouTube thing. As it goes, a lot of people have been going past that date of July 7th and not getting suspended, no DMCA, nothing. So I'm gonna make a new save and fucking stream this game. And
I will be there to watch it.
Yes. But as far as that July 7th date goes, I went past it. And I'll say now, like, it won't be spoilers, but there is nothing on that date. There is nothing special about that date. There is nothing going on about that date. But that week, I'll say 3 or 4 days after that date, something really game-changing happens that shifts a lot of perspective of, like, what you believe is going to happen throughout the game. That's all I'll say. So I understand why that date was chosen. It's not a date that directly spoils what is going to be coming. So, like, you can't be looking up July 7th and go, like, what happened on this day, and spoil it for the entire internet. But what happens in that very close to that date is game-changing.
Should we, like, give a brief synopsis of what... Because I don't think we've given one of what Persona 5 even is.
Yeah, go for it. I want to see it. I want to see what you said for it.
Oh, God. I don't even know how I could explain it.
As these two stay nice and quiet.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm typing something, actually.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I've never played the game before, like I said, and I'm just listening to you two talk about it. It's really interesting.
Yeah, I'm actually very intently listening to what you guys are saying. I just don't have anything to add because I haven't played it yet. It's a game I'm totally going to go play, but I'm, like, really pinned down with other games at the moment. But I'm really looking forward to playing Persona 5, and what you guys are talking about is really interesting.
I will say it's, like, the most unique game I've played in years probably.
And John's saying that's a very relaxing game. That also intrigued me because I'm in that mood for a very relaxing game.
So Tyler, like, and I have to keep. I think I said it before, but I keep saying it. Like the fact that you are always into the slice of life animes, like the daily life that you're gonna have with this game is exactly that, except you live it. But it does. Nice. But it doesn't. It isn't like a dating sim or anything like that. It is. It feels like everything is worth your time, and the stories are always worth your time.
It's realistic.
Yes, that's definitely what draws me to it. And I like how the battle system is a little bit because I've seen videos of it. I don't feel like it's a very complicated RPG battle system. Like it obviously has its how do I
nuances?
Explain this. Yeah, like it has its ways of making it complicated, but it presents itself in a way that isn't.
It is
like that's what I get out of it, and that's really attractive to me.
It's an extremely refined, basically I would say traditional JRPG kind of system. It's refined system.
It plays pretty much the same as Shin Megami Tensei 4 in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I mean, makes sense, spin-off. Which, pretty much with that, it was like, a lot of people described it as like a darker version of Pokemon, basically, except there's a lot more to it. Yeah, and it's kind of the same in Persona. I'm not sure if the other Persona games ever played like that. I heard that like maybe the first one played like that, but I know in Persona 5 they do bring it back, I guess. The recruiting like monsters or whatever.
Negotiating with the character, yeah.
Yeah,
because in Persona 4 and 3, you're rewarded with those personas after the battle. Yeah. So what you're fighting with is completely different than what you're gonna end up playing with as your quote-unquote Pokemon.
But so for the story of it, God, let me see if I can even like explain this. But like, you play as the new kid, I guess. You moved from another city to the current one that you're in because of a mishap, I suppose.
You move from rural side of Japan to Tokyo.
Yeah, it's the exact opposite of Persona 4, if I recall.
Yeah, where you're a big city slicker and you go to the rural area.
And the reason for this is because you have like a criminal record now. You were pretty much reported by some asshole, basically. Like the scene is this: there's a drunk guy that's like pretty much just being abusive towards this woman, and your main character tries to step in and like, hey, this isn't cool, but apparently this guy has like connections or something, so he's just like, yeah, take this fucker away, just put him in jail. So just because of some, your heroics actually reward you with like a criminal record, so yeah, that's cool. And so you're pretty much treated as like this shit, like the shitty kid at this new school.
Because he got expelled from the old school. This is the only place he can go now, and it quickly got around because Japanese rumors. It quickly got around that you have a criminal record, and the entire school's just like, oh, don't touch that guy. Don't deal with him. He's a criminal. He's a delinquent. We don't want to do anything with delinquents.
Don't want nothing to do with this guy. And then you kind of come across some other characters that, are kind of the outcasts of the school as well. And then you kind of, it's kind of hard to explain what happens next. You kind of randomly discover something, I guess the otherworldly aspects of the game. And so you discover a character at the school is not who they seem to be. And eventually you try to put a stop to what they're doing, and it gets fucking dark. Like, I don't even know if I should say like what kind of stuff is like hinted at, or whatever.
I would say keep it not to say much, but
yeah,
the focus of the game is on the character's rebellious side and how they don't have control of certain situations, and they want control. They want to rebel and have actual justice in their lives. Which, considering the country we're in and what we're dealing with, yeah, that'd be nice.
Oh yeah.
And dealing with other people's very, very disturbing desires in their world. And a lot of it deals with the sins, the 7 deadly sins.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that because it seemed like there was some sort of tie into all that.
It is
with I'm not even sure if I should say because I guess it could be like a dead giveaway. I won't say what the first one is, but I know that like the second dungeon you visit that has something to do with like gluttony, maybe.
Yeah.
The third one is like greed. Maybe.
And
I'm not that far into the third dungeon yet, so I don't know.
Oh, it gets fun. Every world that you end up going to, the other world, we'll say, that you get into, is a manifestation of the corrupt characters that you're going for. So, like, let's say, like what Joey said, greed. The guy that you're trying to stop who is obsessed with money. You go into his world, it's represented by a bank. And every single person that's in that bank looks like an ATM.
Yeah.
and why does everyone look at an ATM? Because he runs the bank and he looks at everyone as just money that he can take from at any point that he wants.
Just stuff like that.
Yeah, the entire game plays out like that. I just love it.
It's very creative.
And basically, the game just kind of flows organically from where it begins. Like, where for a lot of games, you just get the direct, this is the bad guy, this is the good guy, and all that. For Persona games, it is very much just, we're going to give you a story, here's the foundation of it, and we're just going to let it flow. And just let it go where it needs to go. We're not going to give you a direct villain or a bad guy that you're going to go towards. It's just like, no, this is just the life that you're living. You're just trying to get through high school, and the shenanigans happen. And that's kind of why it's a little difficult to come up with a synopsis, because it's very character driven. It is very driven by the cast that you end up organically building. Like, it doesn't start with your entire party from the start. It starts with 2 people, then a 3rd person, then a 4th person, then you get more and more as the entire game goes. All the way up to the end of the year, you'll probably get even more characters. And it all just builds on itself very organically.
Like, it's, I guess, like what you were saying, it compares, like, you know, some games have a set story, a set villain, set heroes. Like, this is a game where it just, but pretty much, I already lost what I was going to say, like, lost my track of mind. Just go ahead, go. While I think about what I was going to say, I just lost it right there.
It's, there's too much I would love to gush over, but I will say this. As much as I am in love with this game, I'm not going to give it any kind of early ruling. I have to finish it. I have to finish this game because it is a very story-driven game. So when it comes to ruling how the game plays, I have to finish the story. Like, I can't see it any other way. I couldn't rightfully in my own mind review this kind of game and not finish it first. At least to me.
Yeah, what I think I was going to say is, like, it's definitely not as a game with, like, a set story or whatever, because, like, the only thing that connects with all of these stories is that basically you and your friends are just like a group of characters just looking for justice, and you'll do whatever you want, or, you know, whatever you feel is right to do that. So it's not really like a set story or anything. It's just like, kind of like, you know, one of those like episodic type things.
Yeah.
And it's like, I haven't really played a game like that, because it seems like most games always have that set story and whatever, but this is just like one of the first games I feel doesn't, and it's just really new to me, really unique because of it. So I know you said that you had to play it all to say whether or not you recommend it, but you know, I haven't made it as far as John, and I mean, I know both of us have barely scratched the surface yet, but
oh yeah,
I would say, if you're into all that sort of stuff, like if you really want a new, unique type of JRPG to play that is kind of casual but does have its hard moments to it too, I would say totally get this. I mean, it's fascinating. It's really unique. I've thrown that word around, but it's just, I can't describe it in any other way. It's just nothing I've ever played before in my life.
I would absolutely recommend anyone to play it and buy it. Just, I wouldn't review it right now. I wouldn't give us whatever score or anything like that. But the only other thing that we could really talk about without going into any kind of spoilers is the style.
Oh yeah, the fucking music too.
And the music. I think the soundtrack came out. I think anyway.
Did it? I should get it. Because I know one of the songs has become like a meme. Apparently, I guess it was whenever it came out in Japan, but that song, "The Last Surprise," which is like the battle theme for the game.
It is, and it is to me, it's still my favorite.
Great.
I can never get it'll never get old. And once you hear the battle themes of every game, it's the same. It's the same thing. It's every battle. Well, all the music 3D, all the games are amazing, but specifically the battle music in the Persona games has always been amazing.
Yeah, I really actually like Persona 4s as well. But it's just like after hearing Persona 5s, it's just like I don't think anything will ever top this. It's just got so much fucking style to it. It's so good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's just the style of the entire game is.
It's undescribable.
It looks so good.
It's just like it's like everything else in the game. It's just nothing I've seen before ever.
It looks so good on every level, and the best thing is knowing this game is going to age well. This game is going to stay looking good no matter how far into the future we go. It's going to keep looking good.
That's one thing I can definitely comment on is that game will hold up in the future.
And it is kind of weird because I believe the same. I think the people that worked on the engine for the game or whatever, the graphics. I think it's CRI Ware or something like that. They usually do all the anime games
Cryware?
Cryware, yeah, whatever it is. Sorry. But they do the Tales of games, and it's those aren't really impressive looking games. I mean, they're fun, don't get me wrong, but it's just I never it's nothing that flat out just amazes me, right? But it's just they finally hit something here with Persona 5. I guess adding its own, giving it its own style kind of helps or something. I don't know. But it's just I was surprised by it.
I'm not sure what engine Atlas uses.
I think Cryware is the one that works on it, though. I could be wrong. I could be speaking out of my ass, but
I'm gonna look it up.
Soundtrack is on iTunes.
That it is, yes.
And it's $30. All 110 songs.
I may actually get it. Just get it, you guys. Just fucking get it.
Just get this.
Get the game.
Just get it.
I'm sure it's a great game.
I think we're done.
Yeah, can we not talk about Overwatch tonight, please?
No, we have to hear BloodHawk's opinion about Uprising.
Okay, I'll let it slide just because we got Leif Erikson here.
Uprising is
I think BloodHawk's
such a hard thing. I've been trying to play it on Legendary.
So please talk about Overwatch. I'm not going to talk about no more games tonight because this episode is going to be long to edit.
Yeah,
I don't think we're going to talk that long about Overwatch, though, to be honest.
Okay, go for it.
All I really have to say is the Uprising, the new PvE mode has been really fun, especially in All Heroes. But that Legendary playthrough, that's so rough.
It's 2 hits and you die or something like that.
To be fair, though, I've mostly only played with randoms because everybody else doesn't really want to try Legendary.
I wouldn't mind trying it, but it's just I have the feeling after trying it once or twice, I'd be yeah, I don't want to do this anymore.
So,
have you gotten to play it, John? Or
I played a bit of it. The thing is, I've been doing more watching people play it, especially people who get in sets. I'll put the legendary difficulty in this way. There is a pro team who got together and tried it and failed. It
like
is
immediately.
insanely, not immediately, but it is insanely difficult to beat legendary difficulty. Which I appreciate that they actually went that far while making it that hard to beat.
Yeah, I am too. But Jesus, this is one of the roughest things I've tried in a game in a long time. I believe.
What do you guys think about the skins?
Some of the skins are nice. I'm not a big fan of all of them though.
Yeah, would you say it's like the weakest out of all the events?
Actually, yeah, I think I would say it's probably the weakest out of all the events for the skins at least.
Cause like, I think I'm only interested in like the Reinhardt skin.
Don't like the
and that's it.
One.
I like it, but it's not something I would be like, yeah, I'll go out of my way for this.
Beardless Torbjorn is so weird to me.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
But dang, I love his highlight intro. I absolutely love that.
Oh yes! Oh my god, I have to get that at some point.
My baby.
I put a link down just to point out, like, they're a giant guide to beat the game. And what I mean giant, I mean like this is actually something you have to sit down and read how hard it is to beat. Someone had to make a huge old guide for it.
I will say the first time I saw anybody beat Legendary, it was a group of 4 Grandmasters, and they had like 3 or 4 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, you had to be top 500 basically to do it. A group of top 500 players.
The farthest I've ever gotten with randoms has been in the middle of pushing the payload, and that's with no communication.
But anyway, I think we're all tired now.
There's not much to say about the event. It's just there's some cool skins, and the PvE is pretty good. It's nice.
Yeah, it's getting late.
Can we keep the PvE event and get Junkenstein's Revenge back?
No.
Don't ask for such silly things, Leif Erikson.
But I enjoyed them.
But don't worry, next BlizzCon they'll be announcing the first single player. We'll get that.
That's exactly what this feels like. It almost makes it feel like it's a possibility.
Also, I will say this one last thing. I do love the fact that the more you play, the more dialogue possibilities drop into the dialogue pool or whatever. I saw somebody talking about that online, and apparently it's true. I think somebody from the Overwatch team confirmed that the more you play and the more you win, the more stuff you'll end up hearing the characters say, and they'll only pop up after you win a certain amount of games. Or some of them will, at least.
That's cool.
No. Yeah.
No? Okay. That is it for the Training Stage podcast this week. Thank you all for listening. Eric, where can they find you on Twitter or internet?
I actually don't have a Twitter.
Okay, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitch TV /BloodHawk1991.
Okay.
I've been streaming retro
games. Will
games
be in the description
recently.
Ooh, what kind of retro games?
Super Mario RPG.
Oh, nice.
This is really what I've been playing lately.
All right, I got some advice for you.
Yes.
Do you know a streamer or a YouTuber named Proton John?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This is what you do. You watch when he's streaming, and right as he's getting close to that, he's going to end the stream. You start streaming, so he'll host you looking for retro people's games, and you get thousands of new followers.
That would be amazing.
Really?
Like, every time he goes to end the stream, he looks for someone to raid, and he always looks for people doing retro games and just picks a random one from the retro streamers, and whoever it is just ends up getting hundreds and hundreds of viewers at that moment.
I will say,
nice.
He is one of my favorite streamers at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
That's really cool, though.
Yeah. Well, it used to be a common thing to do Twitch raids where the people, especially with the higher numbers, would just tell their audience to go to a small stream and just raid them. It's kind of fallen off because of just time and hosting and all that kind of stuff. Just whatever. The worst case of it happening, though, is AGDQ, where the final day of their stream, they host whoever is speedrunning a game. So suddenly some tiny 10-viewer streamer will have 100,000 people on his stream.
Wow.
And that's where the chaos begins, because it's like, I only have like one mod. What do I do? But that's cool.
I have 7 mods.
I have 4.
That's a bit too much.
I only have 2. I was just kidding. They're
I
both
think I'm
here
gonna
right
start-
now.
I think I'm gonna start streaming soon.
What are you gonna stream?
You know, I haven't decided because I put a poll up. I asked,
Can I pick for you?
what's this? You can pitch me an idea.
All right, Baldur's Gate.
I knew you were gonna say that.
If
But
I
I put
could,
out a
I would
poll.
totally stream that game. No doubts about that.
I put out a poll asking which platform I should tackle, like my backlog, and I did PS3, PS4, Wii U, and PC, and it ended up being a tie between PS3 and Wii U. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I think maybe I might do something on Wii U. I don't know what yet, though.
Oh shit! Can I bring something up? This is kind of like overdue.
Okay.
But this kind of reflects back to Persona 5. You know how I made a big stink about what the fuck is that game called? The Shimigami Tensei X Fire Emblem
Oh,
game.
yeah.
Now I'm kind of interested. Like, what is this about now?
Well,
Joey, you make a big stink of a lot of things, and then you ended up liking things.
I didn't look. Here's the thing. I didn't doubt that game would be bad or anything. Like, I'm
You
sure.
were
I'm,
just
I'm sure it's a
salty.
good game. It's just like I am one of those huge ass Fire Emblem fans, and it's just like this didn't look anything like Fire Emblem. It didn't look anything like Shimigami Tensei. But it's like after playing Persona, it's like I kind of understand why.
See, I think I'd be into like a pop idol Zelda game.
oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be into that.
just round up all the Zelda waifus.
Exactly. That's exactly why I would be into it.
But
It's a no-brainer.
just so you know, Joey, it came out as an 8 out of 10 game, so for what it's worth, it's maybe worth seeing. But
Like I said, I did not doubt that it would be a good game. It's just it just did not resemble either Shimigami Tensei or
no, it really did.
Fire Emblem to me. So that's why I was just like, no, I'm not getting this shit. Fucking.
Okay. Especially since
But-
its official name is Tokyo Mirage Sessions #FE.
Yeah, that's.
No, it's sharp, John. It's sharp. Like the music sign.
Shut up.
You shut
They
up.
know it's a hashtag. They know it is.
No, that's bull, John.
Anyway,
No.
to make a long story short, yeah, I might end up getting that at some point. I just feel defeated now after that, though.
It sold 50,000 in the U.S.
Damn, that's it. I mean, I guess I'm not that surprised.
I'm not surprised for the dead console.
For a dead
For the
console,
dead
and just
console.
for what it is.
Rip Wii U.
Rest in peace.
More like.
Anyway, that's it for this
PU.
episode, you guys. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for joining us, Eric. It was a good pleasure.
Thank you for having me on.
It was a blast. Please come back.
I will.
Oh, I'll
Definitely
come back.
should. I'm gonna
alright.
make you.
Oh, okay. I said I'd
Yeah,
come
okay.
back, but alright.
I'm gonna like tie you up.
Whoa.
We should get Eisen back on one of these podcasts again. He used to be a casual on Toonami Show Rundown when I was
Really?
on that. Yeah. I think we
He
had
was
him
on
on
that?
like 2 or 3 times, maybe.
Really?
Maybe
I
just
never...
once, I'm not sure. But he was on a couple times.
Oh, DBZ Forever?
Yeah, we call him Eisen
Oh,
on,
yeah. Okay,
on,
gotcha.
on Xbox Party.
Does he have a real name too, or is his real name Eisen DBZ?
Well, I don't know if he wants me to say that. So
Oh, okay. Well, we'll wait for him to get on the show then.
His real
if he
name
wants
is
to.
Piglet
I don't even
Sanchez.
think he listens. I don't even think he
We'll get
listens.
him on. So we'll force him. We'll chain him up. We'll
There
bring
are
him
a
in
couple
here
people
and-
that listen. I think Nick and I know he won't mind if I said his name. And Bleacheroo, I think they listen to the podcast.
Bleacheroo.
Yeah. Well, he
Well, shout out to them.
I wonder if
Yeah.
they'll be surprised that I'm on today.
I hinted at it.
You're on for like half of it, and then the other half is just Persona.
Pretty much.
To be fair, we only talked about it for 30 minutes, you know.
Yeah, true. And we got a good Yooka-Laylee discussion and Star Wars and all this other nerd stuff.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
The porno.
Anyway, we need to leave. Goodbye, everyone. Good night.
Peace.
Everyone scattered.